the meeting to order.
Welcome, I'll call
Okay.
it to order, or the meeting to order. Thank you for coming tonight. My name is Pam Brown, Chair of the Sanborn Regional School District School Budget Committee, and we're interviewing candidates for a Newton and Kingston seat tonight. We'll first interview the Newton seats, candidates, and I'll be leaving the stage for a moment since I'm not a Newton representative, I'm a Kingston, and I'll be back for the Kingston interviews. So I'm gonna have Carrie Beckett take over the meeting for the Newton interviews.
Okay.
You're on.
So attendance is, oh gosh, now what am I?
Go ahead and
Yes.
cover this, and then camera's on.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, for attendance, Catherine and Bren and I are all here.
Yes.
And we're here to interview James Doggett. Is this you?
Yep.
Please, can you come up a little closer so we can talk?
Do you want me way down here, or do you want me over there?
I have no idea.
Can you sit where the computer is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just please speak up. This room was actually built acoustically to deaden sound.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, can you introduce yourself to us and why you want to be on the budget committee?
I'm James Doggett. I spent 24 years on the Sanborn Regional School Board. I spent 6 years on the Sanborn Regional Budget Committee. If you go out, look in the hall of any building in the school district, you'll find my name. I was here long enough. That's why I know that this room is built to deaden sound versus enhance it. Needless to say, I have 30 years experience with the Sanborn Regional Budget. When I saw that you were in need of somebody to at least get you through to next March, yes, it's been 6 years since I was on the budget committee. However, I don't think that the budget process has changed that much. The particular line items may have over the years, but I'm a very quick study.
So you obviously have a lot of experience here, so that would certainly qualify as work experience and strengths and that you've already been on the committee before. So, how do you picture working with this budget committee in this particular year that?
So in the 6 years I was on the budget committee, every year there was a certain amount of turnover. I work well with most people. Same. It's hard to say until you actually meet the budget members. You always have people that you're a lot friendlier with than others, but it's not. While the issues here have major impacts on taxes, and that can be stressful for a lot of people, what's decided at these tables should end at that doorway. And once you walk out the door, you should still be able to speak nicely to other people. I'm a fairly moderate person in my voice and what have you.
So you were on the school committee for a long time.
I did 24 years as a school member.
Did you have children in the system?
No, I have no children, though I am. My high school, I was a Sanborn graduate back in the old days.
Because both Catherine and Ren are also brand new this year on the
Oh, okay.
committee. This is my third year, so I'm supposed to be experienced, but every year is different. There's quite a few challenges with the budget and with hiring and a lot of difficulties coming down, and we need people who are very familiar with the school system.
There have always been a lot of difficulties with the budget. I personally believe in supporting those things that are educationally beneficial. I'm not big on bells and whistles and frills. Though a certain amount of things that some people would consider in that category, I consider part of a basic education, like art and music.
You're old school.
Excuse me?
I said you're old school.
Well, I think the children today deserve at least the education that I got.
I agree.
And it's interesting, people have always denigrated Sanborn because of test scores and what have you. And yes, I've seen a major decrease when the class that I graduated with, I believe 8 of us went on to get doctorates. I'm not certain that's happening anymore.
Do you also have a doctorate?
Yes.
In what field?
Fine art.
Okay. So what, did you teach? You must have.
I used to teach every other year a course in critique. And that was for doctoral candidates.
Not at the high school, at
No.
what, at a university
At
level? At where, at,
Boston University.
oh. So what is your full-time employment?
I own Doggett Jewelry down on 125.
Oh,
And I also am the administrative assistant to the planning board and ZBA in the town of Newton.
I think that's where I've seen you before. At several-
Yeah, I've been around for a long time.
Well, one of the questions that Pam asked us to talk about is, while it's not required, some of the technology tools are useful. She uses, I'm going to imagine that this is all easy for you to say, Excel spreadsheets and email and Google Docs, and you're familiar with using all those.
I have no problem with spreadsheets. I have no problem with email. I will tell you that Google Docs is probably one of the worst systems that you can own.
Mhm.
It would be much better if the school district used, I believe, the Microsoft suite, which contains Excel. Google Docs,
That's all right.
like,
all right.
like general education, has certain things that you look at and you go, why is that there and how do I get around it? But yes, I am able to
Usually.
use Google Docs.
Figure it out. It's, I was not familiar with any of it either, but. it
Well,
comes back.
personally, I find that Google Docs works perfectly fine on a tablet, if you're making a quick
Or a
notes and
Chromebook.
what have you. However, if you're doing spreadsheets and you want to be able to, I know this is often a pejorative word, manipulate, pull lines out and
Can't do
on
it.
Google Docs, on Excel, it's fairly simple. Cut, paste, move. Google Docs, it's cut, paste, create your document, find out where it's been stuck on the computer.
On this committee, it's not quite as critical. We need to be able to read the documents that the school committee
Yes.
sends to us, being the budget
Yes,
committee.
that.
We're not creating the budget line.
Yeah.
Line item, so.
Now, I will ask, the budget committee members always used to be supplied with laptops.
Yes, we all have Chromebooks,
Okay, Chromebooks, the little ones?
the little ones.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
where Excel definitely works better, is that if you're using a smallish tablet, on Google Docs, the print is so small that you need a microscope to read it. Whereas Excel, 2 fingers, you expand it, and you can, run it across the page. Budget committee members and planning board members used to get a full-size laptop with I believe it was an 18-inch screen.
What we have is certainly adequate for what we need to do.
Right.
And Matt, he is retiring. I believe Matt Manillo is retiring in June. But he's been very good at making hard copies for us too, if we request it.
Well, that's actually one of the more important things, is that you still get a hard copy so that you can flip back and forth between pages. On a tablet, you can't do that. On a laptop, it's difficult. Paper, stick your finger here, go, wait a second, I thought I saw something about this on.
Are you available on Thursday evenings at 7? And is that
Yeah.
a reasonable?
Yeah.
Why not?
Do you have any questions for us? I mean, you kind of went. through all
You
of it.
appear to be a
Well-
friendly group. Do not, I will warn you, do not expect me to show up in a suit and tie.
Well.
When you walked in, I'm going, yes.
I'm as blue collar as they come,
Well-
T-shirt and jeans, wear boots.
On Thursday, I work in town hall. However, if you know anything about the planning board office and the paperwork and what have you, you don't dress nicely because your clothes will get ruined. And I work on Thursday at town hall, so I would be coming here shortly after I close the office.
It's mostly in the fall and the early winter.
But
Where the budget is.
exactly. So warmth is more important than fashion.
Absolutely.
So, Catherine, did you have questions that you'd like to ask?
No, I mean, I think he gave us a lot of detail. That covered a lot of the questions right off the bat, which was
Yeah.
helpful, so.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, that covered
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I
you
didn't know you
covered-
guys had a list of
No,
questions.
well,
You
It's
did
just-
great. You covered them all by yourself very quickly.
They're fairly basic questions that Pam just requested that we use the same questions for each candidate so that we can kind of compare.
Do you have multiple candidates for Newton?
This would be Pam.
Oh.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. I honestly didn't know. It was one of those things that I saw a need, so I simply,
Definitely appreciate you coming down.
Mhm.
And all
Yeah,
you have to do is come and show up. And when I decided to do it, I had to run a campaign. I had to buy political signs. put them
been
out.
there,
I
done
had to
that.
stand out in the end of the driveways and with my signs and.
Well, put it this way, for the 30 years that I was on between the school board and the budget committee, I spent 20 years on the planning board, 6 years as a selectman, trustee of the trust fund, so I know, and now I work the polls. I'm usually the person that you see when you walk into the fire station to vote.
Yeah, I did nothing else. I was like she said, you covered everything.
Yeah, answered all my questions.
So, I move then that we enter a non-public session. And I will make that motion and I need to have it seconded.
Second.
You're entering under 91-A:3,
Yes,
Rule
we
2,
are.
subsection A.
Yeah, I thought it was some sections.
C.
That's right.
Close enough.
Yes,
I thought A was reputation, they changed it.
RSA 91-A3, Roman numeral 2, section C.
Section C, okay. That's reputation. Okay.
And we need a roll call vote. I agree, and
Agree.
Catherine, and Red also. All right, so now the cameras will be off. I move to seal the non-public minutes in perpetuity.
Second that.
Okay. And roll call vote. Do we all agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we have the cameras back on. I move to nominate Jane Stockett to become a school budget committee member.
A second.
And roll call vote. Do we all three?
Yes.
Pam, do I adjourn this sub?
You can
this?
adjourn your subcommittee and then we'll begin our subcommittee meeting.
Okay.
So.
I will make the motion to adjourn our subcommittee.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Sorry.
I think we've done.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Catherine.
Yeah. So that's good. See you next time.
I'll move down here. Thank you, Terry.
This is, the one you gave me was for Kingston. I had started to fill it in. But
That's okay.
it's,
Did you transfer it over to yours?
So now I think we have all the right initials here. And with all of the votes.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about the order. I didn't
And
realize
the
it
cameras
was-
on and cameras off and no
Yeah.
one was absent.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right, that was easy. Thank you, Pam. And then you're staying too.
So I'd like to call the Kingston Subcommittee to order. We have Brooks Clark, who's absent tonight. He's at a graduation ceremony. So Ren and I will do the interviews, and 2 out of 3 is a quorum, so we should be okay.
Good night.
Just need a copy of. So we'd like to welcome Mark Goddard to our subcommittee. Welcome, Mark.
Somebody sitting here?
You can sit right there
Good.
if you'd like. Just don't touch the
Perfect.
laptop, that's all. Bring your water over if you'd like, so that'd be great.
That's okay.
So the first question is, tell us about yourself and why you'd like to join our school budget committee.
Why would I like to join the school budget committee? I'll tell you about myself. Well, I'm obviously a resident of Kingston. How you doing, Ron?
Good, Mark, how are you?
Fine, good, how are you?
Just dandy. I moved to Kingston in 2007. Been here since then. When I got here, one of the reasons I moved here was because the school system was rated pretty high. Did very well. In fact, I think my research serves me, it was the first SAU in the state to reach full accreditation for all grades, K through 5. I mean, K through all the way to senior year in high school. That was impressive. I think it's slipped a little since then. I really don't know why. I know, as always, money's an issue, and it's getting harder and harder. So that means that money is becoming a little tighter, which also means that there has to be more scrutiny placed on how it's spent,
Agreed.
okay? I'll be the first person to let you know right up front, I don't have much experience at all in scholastic budget process. I do, on the other hand, have quite a few years. I didn't get gray hair for nothing, but I'm glad I still have it. You know, that's in the commercial world, specifically in the industry that I was in, which was pretty highly regulated. It's actually it is the most highly regulated industry in the commercial world.
Transportation?
No,
Oh,
no,
it's a shock then, I'm sorry.
well, you know, I'll say transportation's gotta be right up there. I don't know who figured this, but this is what I was told. I mean, if you're in the trucking industry, I doubt you had a DOT guy sitting in the truck with you. And what I did, the NRC was right there watching. So, anyway, my experience is in the commercial nuclear power industry. By education, I'm an engineer that got qualified to do that. I spent it's me, sorry.
Nope, good.
Forgive me, I don't put my phone on stun or silence or anything like that. I have a son who is a police officer in Raleigh, North Carolina. And,
Understood.
okay.
Say no more.
Thank you.
We're good.
Say no
If
more.
it's him, I answer the call because he doesn't call unless he needs, unless something really
Sure.
Absolutely.
going on.
Yep.
Anyway, spent 20+ years, almost 2.5 decades, running commercial nuclear power plant, helping to run in the engineering field, several different spots. And budget was a very big deal. I mean, our profits were fractions of a cent based on whether or not we were online making power. I worked in the power generation. I wasn't out on the wires and the pipes climbing a pole, thank God. That's a tough job.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, I think you've answered questions 1 and 2.
Okay, now as far as,
So we're gonna ask question 3.
go ahead.
Besides the commercial aspect, have you been on any other committees?
Yeah, it's right next to you.
Yeah,
Roy,
I had to ask.
In the municipal budget committee, yes.
it's for the YouTube, we're asking,
Yeah.
why we're asking.
Yeah, and that is enlightening.
That's putting it mildly.
Well, I'm normally not a very politically correct person. I tell it like it is, as an engineer doing what I did. The facts are the facts. And I'll apologize up front if that twinges anyone's sensibilities or whatever, but you know what? People ask me all the time. They say, oh my God, that was a wicked job. Because after I made power, then I went to work for Westinghouse and I built reactors, built 11 of them. People go, oh my God, that's gotta be a wicked tough job. Holy cow. No. Are you a parent? You have the toughest job that there is. The most important job is to replace yourself with a person who is ready to go out into the world and is prepared to deal with the toughest teacher he or she will ever encounter, and that's life.
Mhm.
She is the toughest teacher that there is. She is also the most unforgiving. So, money spent to make our future generations ready to go out into the world, every dollar's gotta count.
Absolutely.
On budgeting, my philosophy, in fact, if my kids were here, they'd say, yeah, Dad, we know. Is it a need or a want?
Yeah. Well, we have people from many backgrounds that join the school budget committee. Some of them are retired, some of them are parents.
Mhm.
Some of them have just moved here recently, so I'm sure any experience you have will be valuable. I'm gonna go to the question 5, because you've answered 1 through 4. While not required, some technology tools are helpful. We use email, Excel spreadsheets, and Google Docs. I assume you're familiar with most of those tools?
Yes, I
Sounds
am.
like.
Yep, and I'm still learning the new tricks of Excel. I learn something every time I try and do something, but we're,
Yeah.
it's a learning process.
Excel can be complicated, but it can do so much for you.
Oh my God, yeah, when it works, it works.
Yeah,
Just gotta be careful what you tell it.
exactly. Made that mistake before.
Go ahead, keep going. I know you're pressed for time. Any questions, fair game, by the way.
Just questions 6 and 7.
We usually meet once or twice a month on Thursdays at 7.
Okay,
Does that work for you?
shouldn't be a problem. Let's see, regular municipal budget committee is Wednesday night. So, yeah, we're gonna be
I
busy.
talked to Stacy about making sure she keeps Wednesdays for town budget. and
Good.
So we can have Thursday.
Thank God.
I didn't hear back from her, so when I see her on Saturday for the celebration, the 300th, I'll make sure I ask her about that. Yeah.
It's a surprise for Ellie.
Awesome.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's on YouTube now. Oh, well.
Leave it to Pam.
Hey, listen, I need track shoes and adrenaline injections if I were to try and follow her.
Oh,
You know,
well,
my God.
I go home and cry a lot. Okay, so do
Hey,
you have
me
any,
too.
do you have any questions for us tonight, or anything we can?
Since you know us so well.
Any questions that you still have that you want to ask me? Anything's fair game. Anything.
I don't really have any additional questions.
Okay.
I think you pretty much understand the history of the district in terms of academics though, so. And the cost to the district, it sounds like you've been following that.
84.7% of the town budget is school.
It is 84.
Yes,
It's
It was
like,
above
well,
80.
it depends on what document you read. It's above 80, let's say
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Based on Sanborn Regional SAU Historical NHDOE data, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we do.
most property taxes go toward the schools, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but our enrollment is falling,
True.
and not to mention some other personnel issues.
We're definitely gonna be looking into enrollment trends
Yeah,
when we talk about the budget, so, yeah.
yeah. I mean, one of the reasons that a new family would move in here with kids is the school system. Is the school system good? And that's, I know when I moved into Liverpool before I had children, Liverpool, New York, near Syracuse, that was absolutely, before I bought a house, what's the best school district? Because that's gonna be huge.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Really, the kids are just, it's the toughest job you'll ever love and hate at the same time. Somebody asked me to describe it. It's like a hot fudge sundae. It's hot and it's cold at the same time.
True.
You know,
It's, I would be remiss, and I want to make absolutely certain to let you guys know, I do not have a lot of governmental or municipal, I have zero school budget experience. On the commercial side, on the other hand, hundreds of millions of dollars in expenditures, very simple stuff. Also, I was manager of the machine shop, which is a union shop up here in Newington, where we made nuclear reactors. And I know that there's a union involved here, so
There are a few.
those
Yes.
can be very difficult.
Part of the
conversations.
ingredients, yeah.
But as far as money goes, I want value for my dollar. And that's the way that I will ask, show me. So that's the buck's the buck. That's
Okay.
rather cold and hard-hearted, but
Well, you've got experience with municipal budgets, it's very similar, so there are lots of similarities, so.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
okay,
And I'll
All
be
right.
in touch with you.
okay, very
Very
good.
good.
All right,
Do you
let me
wanna
go get the other guy.
You can send him in if you'd like,
Will
that would be
do,
great.
will do.
And I'm Pam Brown, and this is Ren DiFilippo. We're both on the budget committee. DiFilippo, and sorry, I mispronounced your name.
Sorry, I had to.
I've practiced it all day, so great. So we're just gonna ask you a few questions to see, what your background is. The first one is, tell us about yourself and why you'd like to join our school budget committee.
Sure. Shane Queenie, 30 years old, just moved to Kingston
Oh, okay.
about a year ago. Was living in Exeter for about 5 years before that, and then in Gloucester, Mass before then.
Okay.
I primarily work from home doing computer security for Rapid7 out of Boston. Been doing that about 6.5 years now, and I have actually, yeah, about over 10 years of experience now in networking, security, and pretty much all things technology, you
Oh,
know,
great.
in and out of the home. So
We need someone like that on the committee because we have a lot of budget issues that have to do with IT. So, yeah. that's
knowing the
great.
size of this building and its age, you know, I presume a lot of that's a little aging out at this point. So
They're gonna do an energy study, you know, see if we can improve the efficiency of the buildings. So a lot of it's technology.
higher power, lower cost.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. What strengths do you think you can bring to us on the budget committee?
I think I've done pretty well for myself, you know, self-budgeting. I mean, you know, again, managed to purchase my own home by 30 and, you know, still surviving as far as I'm aware.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Again, as I said, my technology background, I'd like to think I can provide a unique viewpoint there. And while I was back in high school, I did do the technical and filming for the school committee meetings and I think the budget committees as well. But again, that was a good while ago. So.
Yeah. So you're pretty new to Kingston. Have you had any previous experience on town or school committees here or in Exeter at all?
No, I didn't.
Everybody has to start someplace, so no, there's no pressure or anything. Just
I didn't
asking.
either before I came on, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this will be like one of your first opportunities, I guess, huh?
For a board position like this, yeah, absolutely.
Any kids?
Well, let's not make it sound
No.
too exciting, so, yeah. Okay, spending on our public schools comes largely from property taxes. Are there any budget issues you would like to see explored by our budget committee? There's no, you don't have to say, have anything specific. We just thought we'd ask in case you have something burning you wanted to,
Bring up.
mention.
No, I mean, you know, from my side, of course, you know, just a person in the town, of course, any way I can lower my own taxes, the better. But again, I know taking money away from the school isn't usually the best way to do that.
Right.
So even talking with my neighbor about the waste management side and okay, what else could we potentially cut to not necessarily funnel more money into the school, but you know, allocate the funds appropriately.
The school budget is about $40 million and the town budget's 10 million, so it's the bigger budget.
Mhm.
But I do know that waste management is like the biggest item for town. It's very
Yeah,
expensive, it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
So go for it, Ren, you can ask the next question. I think we know the answer to this
Yeah,
one.
I'm not even gonna ask that one, to be honest with you, Pam. I'm gonna skip right over
Yeah,
the
with
technology.
technology tools, you know, all right, fine.
We usually meet once or twice a month on Thursdays, around 7. That work for you? You have any issue with that time or anything like that?
I work from home, so the only thing I need to do is just block off my calendar for some occasional APAC customer meeting. So
Gotcha.
as long as I'm not meeting with someone in Australia preemptively.
Oh, I see.
Fair enough.
Do you have any questions for us?
What would you say is the main thing that needs improvement on the budget committee?
There are lots of line items to go through, and we kind of get a little blurry-eyed when we look at them. So we're just looking for someone with special interests and or expertise in different areas. I'm thinking we can maybe specialize when we look at the budget, like facilities, transportation, IT, academics. We have a couple people, Terry Becken and I are teachers, so we're interested in the programs for schools and for the courses, but we definitely need IT. So you look like you'd be good at that. That'd be the main interest, is to get specialists. So that sounds really good. So I guess that's the list of questions we have. So we're going to deliberate ourselves and we'll be in touch with you probably tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
Sounds good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you so much for
Nice
coming
meeting you,
in.
Shane.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. You
Have a
live right
good-
across the street, or?
I do. I just walked right over.
Oh, wow,
I was thinking,
okay.
oh, I'll drive, but
Yeah,
with
you
all the
went, you
events going
disappeared for
on.
a few minutes and I was worried that you had left or something, so I'm glad you came back, so, great, so
Awesome.
we'll talk to you
No worries.
later on, thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much, okay, thanks. So now I am going to move to enter non-public session for RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, section C, and I need a second.
I'll second that.
So there we go. I guess we're all in favor. So now we'll have the cameras turned on. We're back. I move to seal the non-public minutes in perpetuity,
I'll second that.
and all in favor. So we are pleased to have a nominee for the position, and it was a really difficult decision because they're both unbelievably great candidates. But we've decided Shane Queenie will become a new school budget committee member from Kingston. And I make that motion,
I'll second.
and all in favor. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and we will contact the candidates in the morning to make sure they all understand who's going to be on the committee. So move to adjourn,
Second.
all in favor. Thank you so much.